Hey guys, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles! Resolve. In the last episode, we finished the 4th chapter, which is Twisted Karma and his last bow. And it was a heck of a ride, I can tell you. If you haven't watched that, go down in the description below, you can find the playlist for this playthrough and have a look at what it was just insane. We found out that the partner of Sholmes is someone. Yeah, we will see that in this episode, which is the resolve for Ryunosuke Naruhodo as well, I guess. But it was a heck of a ride, so if you haven't watched that, just go back and watch that thing. It is really insane. But we are about to finish the game because this seems to be it says final chapter, and it makes me a little sad because the game is so great. And especially in the last few, this was a great episode. This also was kind of a great episode. The start of the whole thing. So I have to say the second game is way better than the first one, and the first one was already pretty nice. So this is a very good game if you have the money or other means to play it. Really, you should play it. It's a very good game. It's very well written. But without further ado, let's just start the final chapter, the resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, of course from the beginning. The resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, no cinematic at the beginning now. Which makes sense, because we are actually now just continuing the Karma and his last bow. Oh, the music has changed too. Okay, that's a cool remix, but doesn't matter. It's the 3rd November, 9:14 AM, the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. So, the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Mr. Sato. Mr. Sato? Oh! Oh no! What's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but... I'm so sorry, of course. I know I can be rather incompetent at times, but... I shan't let you down. Would you mind helping me to my feet then? Oh dear, I'm really very sorry. Sato-san isn't her usual self at all. But that's hardly surprising, I suppose. She's just found out that her father is the partner of a world-famous detective. Not to mention... Oh, good morning, sir. Lord Van Zieks.
Thank you all for all your efforts yesterday.
Well, did I hear that correctly?
What?
Oh, no, nothing. Just, I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make things man out. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. Lord Van Zieks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Good point.
The Reaper? I suppose in hindsight. I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged.
Huh?
It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all this.
But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zieks. It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it?
To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason.
What do you mean?
There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. That having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned as some sort of demigod. to wield a deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not.
Yes, we've heard that story too.
When I lost him, I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public.
He was obviously extremely important to you, Lord Clint von Ziegs. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of doubt in court today.
I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity.
Thank you.
Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air?
Oh, Iris, when did you get here? I brought you one of my special blends. Hurley loves it. He says it helps him to clear his head.
I thank you.
Oh, That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Iris. Oh? Sort of subdued, I suppose. I am not! What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Silas' laboratory. Alright then! Good luck to you both! I have to make a move now! Oh, you're not staying? I thought you want to watch today's proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready. Get ready? For what? Oh yes! Would you take this? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack? Yes! It's a lucky charm, a little Hurley that I made once. A Hurley? It looks more like a Harley to me. If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. What? Pull his ears? That's right. It's a way to bring good luck. I think you might need it. Iris's lucky charm has been entered into the court record. Oh, I didn't read it. Sorry, but we're gonna do that in a second. You think what we'll need is luck? I just sneaked a peek inside the courtroom, and it seemed very different to normal.
Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops.
What does that mean? What about Mr. Sharp's Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and he didn't come home by the time I left this morning. Oh, I see. Was Professor Mikotaba out all night too, do you think, Mr. Sato? Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all. They? Father and Judge Jigoku, I mean. Judge Jigoku too? That's right. Nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once.
Good luck then, Runo. Good luck, Susie. Yes. Thanks, Iris. Okay, before we step into the courtroom, I want to have a look at this. Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so we can pull the... Are we supposed to do it now, though? What a charming little rabbity version of Mr. Shaw's. Do you suppose this is how Iris sees him? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Your eyes are veritably boring into the poor doll's ears. Oh, sorry, I was just wondering. What do you suppose would happen if we were to tug its ears with all my might right now? I'm sure that we will find out when the time is right. To become a proper gentleman, you really must learn stoic patience. But I want to know... Yeah, I want to know too, Ryunosuke. But we will have to be patient as it appears. Oh, but that guy is really cute. Okay. A little doll of Mr. Shaw's in hair form. I've been told to tuck its ear if I run out of options on the trot today. Yes, thanks, Iris. And you, Mr. Reaper, I hope it goes well.
Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing.
Oh, I'm so glad. We must go inside now, Lord Von Zieks. Lord Von Zieks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend Kazuma Asugi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. Oh, I've got chills, guys. Oh, okay, here we go. 3rd November, 9:30 a.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today. Oh! Mr. Naruhodo, look! Oh, who would have thought? Lord Strongheart! Kazuma must have known beforehand.
The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundations of our country's legal system.
The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak.
Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial, and one over which I, Mael Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority.
The 6 jurors' flames just...
As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here present in the public gallery are distinguished members of our judiciary assembled to bear witness to fair judicial process.
In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart.
On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Von Zieks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session for the trial of Barak Von Zieks, who officially stands accused of murder. Counsels for the prosecution and the defense are in full readiness to proceed.
The defense is ready, my lord.
As is the prosecution.
Yesterday's proceedings brought light to a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side to the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to superiors at Scotland Yard.
Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about.
And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice,
Mr. Daily Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work when in fact he wasn't.
At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as chief warder at Berkeley Prison, he abetted the convict's escape.
Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Sinis. He's recovered enough to give a signed a statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League.
Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed the suggestion that the victim may have been killed one day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound.
The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord.
Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asugi.
I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on 31st October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details.
But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday that the time of death was 5 p.m. on 1st November.
There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled.
That's out of the question. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse.
My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly.
Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident.
It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Vigil to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities.
Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities?
Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work, so the prosecution calls its first witness now.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, Gina, hi.
State your name and occupation for the court.
Inspector Gina Lestrade, reporting, representative of Scotland Yard.
A self-conferred rank, but never mind.
Gina, again? What's your problem, Odo? What's with that? Gina, again? Look, the boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did.
Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean?
He got me out of the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Told me that life can have a purpose. So that's why I'm the best person to stand in here speaking for him. Oh, Gina. Right, all out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he had his arm twisted by Mr. Shorms, no.
What's relevant to the proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about.
Very troubling.
That face, Lord Strongheart knew. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's see exactly what it says in that report. Coming right up, sir. Witness testimony. The victim's movements. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is, there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place too. Okay. Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm not just telling what was written in the book.
Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by legal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at regular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time.
So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets.
It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority, without the Yard's knowledge.
And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time?
In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. And on the day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation into the matter.
That can't be! We haven't heard anything about any of this.
Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused, Barak von Zieks, was present.
That would be very significant testimony then.
Oh my, but... Lord von Zieks has made no mention of this at all.
In short, Lord von Zieks has ample opportunity to murder the victim.
Very well then. Counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination.
Okay, let's start this. The victim's movements. All Yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. Yeah. Hold it! You're gonna press, of course. So, you follow orders, do you, Gina? No, not me. I'm above all that, see? Oh. The boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips or go and give Toby his grub, that kind of thing. So errands more than orders then.
This detective is still an apprentice after all.
Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one to sit around and wait to be told what to do, even by the boss. So that's why I've been doing my own investigations into what happened. I didn't find mine at first. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had a load of secret meetings in it. Hold it! So you went through Inspector Gregson's things? Yup, as part of the independent Lestrade investigation. I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative. So I snuck into his office when no one else was about. Of course, if anyone at the Yard had seen me going there, they'd have turfed me straight out on the street. This is sounding less and less like an investigation and more like something else.
The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook.
You got that right. Nothing gets past Ambassador Lestrade and her trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. We found it hidden in one of the desk drawers that had a false button. That's impressive. So then I went to arm myself where no one could find me so I could have a butcher's at what was written in it. Because if anyone at the Yard had found me out, they'd have turfed me straight out on the street. I've given it now tough. Wait, I've given it in now though. I've given it now though, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, I would never have been found. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Hold it! Do you have any idea where the boss dealings were taking place? Yep. It was all there in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember.
As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club.
Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club.
That won't be necessary.
What?
It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smuggler in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in these proceedings.
I don't know what all the fuss is about. It's right here. All I've got to do is read it out. And I could too. I've got this reading game buttoned up now. Can't I show you what I can do? Go on, what's the harm?
The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do?
I guess we insist, don't we? I mean... Yeah, let's just insist. This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked.
As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine.
No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Kazuma? There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trail on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obstructive.
Right then, I get to show off my reading skills. Apparently, the smuggled goods deal was gonna happen at a gentleman's club called The Grouse.
I'm gonna press that, of course. The Grouse, what sort of club is that?
I ain't got the fuggies. Clubs ain't exactly me thing, but I'm kinda curious.
They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted. Have you looked in the mirror recently?
I'll tell you what. Me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover.
Could you, though?
I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could find out while I was in there.
I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market dealings were going to take place, is it?
Yeah, it's gotta be. That's what the lower-ranking detectives at the yard reckon.
Says the even lower-ranking detective.
Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet.
So how had Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case?
That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so...
And why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings?
Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, cause, you know, I'm just an apprentice.
When it suits you, yes.
Anyway, the point is, something went on that club, no question.
You can't say that for certain though, surely?
What matters most is there's witnesses what saw the reap at the place too.
Hold it!
Lord Van Zieks was at the club? He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest. It looks like there's no disputing that he was there then.
Well, we know that Lord Van Zieks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he'd already discovered the inspector's secret notebook.
Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe.
Presumably then, there are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there.
None have been identified at this time, no.
So the all-important victim wasn't seen at the mysterious club. Oi! Why aren't you asking Inspector Lestrade, huh?
So that's all I've got to work with. Gina's not holding back with that ice-cold stare of hers, is she?
I really don't know what to make of all this.
Lord Van Zieks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he met the inspector the day before the incident.
You don't think Lord Van Zieks could have been lying to us, do you?
That's not the only way to explain this.
Oh!
If everything Lord Van Zieks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere.
You mean there are details we've yet to uncover?
Exactly. A clue perhaps that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what we should be looking for here.
Okay, so how do we go about this? So it must be this. And that must be something. There must be something here that we can use. But what? What could it be? Is it time for the lucky charm already? Let's have a look. No, it is not, because there's a check mark on that. It can't be Clint's autopsy report. Is it the trunk? Let's open the trunk once more. Let's have a look inside. So there's this passport. Look, there's something inside. Oh, let's see. It appears to be a passport, authorizing him to travel overseas. Was Inspector Gregson about to go on a trip abroad then? Perhaps the date of the departure might tell us something. There was... Oh! What is it? It was for travel on the 31st October, just one day before the incident. What? Really? The passport has been entered into the court record, but it was already there. Passport document that was in Inspector Gregson's possession. It was issued for the travel to France the day before his body was discovered. Gregson went to France the day before his body was discovered? Alright. So we know what to present here then.
Objection!
My lord, as counsel for the defense, I must object to that last statement.
And as the judge, I must deny your objection. There is no contradiction here.
Oh,
No contradiction, other than the fact that a Far Eastern lawyer is practicing in British courtroom.
put there by a not so far away Lord Chief Justice, if you remember. Okay, we messed up here already. But there must be something about it. A passport document. Okay, it says within a week from 31st to October, so it's not this one. So it's not this. It's not the Asogi papers. No, it's not. Is it the photograph? No, of course not. Is it the identification? Well, I suppose we should see what's Inspector looks like inside. But we already had opened it. This Scotland Yard insignia looks genuine to me. And the department identification number details are all correct as well. There's no doubt that this really is Inspector Gregson's identification. Okay, but we already knew that, and that doesn't help us. So what is it then? Photograph of the victim. I can't really make out anything that would lead us to the notice board, a freestanding notice board completely covered in notes and articles relating to the victims of the Reaper. There is a bloody handprint on the back side. The autopsy report. Policeman figurine. Red hairpiece. Presumably it belonged to Inspector Gregson. Dismissal notice. Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse. Wait a second. First class cabin 001. Yokohama departure 11th September. London arrival 1st November. Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikotaba and George Jachikoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it called Dunkirk at the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. To think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Bordia. It seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh? The details of the letter of introduction have been updated in the court record. But we already had that done in the last episode. Ah, because I started this. So we... Ah, okay, I get it. Because I didn't go for the save game, but started this from the beginning. That is why we have to do everything from the beginning. Okay. But it actually says with the Grus. It was written on the back of a ticket for passage on a steamship, and that's the SS Grouse. So guys, I'm sorry we have breached the half-hour mark pretty significantly. But I have to go through all the evidence and have check marks everywhere because I didn't start with a save game. So I'm gonna do that, and I'm going to present the letter of introduction on the next episode of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Resolve. See you then.